Hi Leo, hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome back to those of you who are part of this community already. Welcome to those of you who are new. My name is Jackie and I do weekly readings for each of the astrological archetypes. I mix up astrology, numerology, and psychology. However I'm being called in the moment. I do recommend checking out your rising sign first, then your sun sign, then your moon. If you have some extra time, check out your Venus placement as well. You can always find out your placements with any of the free birth chart calculators as long as you know the exact time that you were born. Otherwise, if you do the 12 o'clock default, you're probably not going to get your particular accurate information. Remember, these are general messages. Take what resonates, throw out the rest. Don't try to make it fit if it doesn't. The best that you can really ever expect is some solid food for thought, having to do with your particular situation, because it always does depend on what's aspecting in your natal chart in relation to the energies that are transiting currently, right? Makes sense. So let's get right into things. So a couple of things going on this week. We have Jupiter still retrograde is going to be popping back into your 7th house of relationship, marriage, contracts, business partners, the idea of equality, the idea of sharing, all of that. Saturn is still hanging out in there with Aquarius. It's happening in Aquarius in your 7th house. So Jupiter was in there, right? Kind of took a dip out, now is back to hang out with Saturn until the end of the year. Guys, this is a good thing. This is a really good thing because this is about, Jupiter is all about luck and expansion and truth and all of that, but being retrograde with Saturn, there's going to be some really good shifting of energy that's going to be for your highest good between now and the end of December. The two of them are going to be working together for you, having to do with that business contract, that business situation, that marriage, that serious relationship, that situation, dealing with a contract, even dealing with a soul contract, anything like that. So that's a good thing. Sitting opposite, we have Mercury entering Leo, and this is going to be happening obviously in your 1st house of self, where the sun is going to be hanging out, and also Mars. There's a lot of fire in there. The sun is fire, Mars is fire, right? And Mercury as an air sign, your mind is just going to be going a million miles an hour, right? It really is. Lots of ideas are going to be popping up for you right now. You're going to be feeling a very strong need to express yourself. So when you have Mars hanging out with Mercury and the sun, first of all, the sun means that it's all about you, right? Going into this next month, that energy is happening on the 27th, right? Mercury entering Leo, right? So the sun enters you guys, right? This particular week, so you know that it's going to be a lot of focus on you, and so when we have that with Mars, which is a warrior energy, with Mercury, which is all about communication, mental faculties, and problem solving, in the fire sign, in your fire sign of Leo, which is all about loyalty and focusing on what you want, what do you want to create, what do you want to do, right? Having to do with relationships. It has to do with falling in love, love affairs, romance. What is all that looking like? It has to do with what's going on with your children. It has to do with, again, loyalty, right? All of these things are going to sort of be packaged up into one bowl. So don't be surprised if just as last week in the first few days of August, with Mercury in there, with Mars, right? Hanging out with Mars in that energy, that there isn't some strong need to express yourself in your marriage, in that serious relationship, in that partnership, about that contract, right? Don't be surprised, because it's going to be sitting in this, with this apex tension of Uranus and Taurus in your 10th house of career, long-term goals, structure, status, reputation, your public image. It could also have something to do with father. So definitely, because it's Saturn is the ruler of the 10th house, right? So there could be some sort of tense communication having to do with a contract regarding father. So maybe it's about inheritance, going to business with your father, something to do with that. Or it doesn't have to have anything to do with that. If it has to do with maybe some sort of tense conversation within your marriage, right? And you arguing about your long-term goals, but it's arguing for an end point. It's almost like a 5 of Wands energy, where you might not be agreeing, people might be arguing to be heard, but the point is going to get across. And just like, don't worry, August is going to be way better, because then Mars is going to be hanging out with Venus in that 2nd house. for you. So then it's about really focusing on, like, if money's been a thing, that's going to be worked out, which is really good. And that's going to be trining that 10th house energy of your long-term goals. The second house is what matters to you, your values, your habits, what it is that you bring for yourself in your day-to-day life, right? Money, work, income, your possessions, your habits, your priorities, your values, what matters to you. So don't worry about this. Whatever's happening now into the beginning of August, it's sort of setting the tone for the rest of the month, which I promise is going to be way better, right? August is, everything is just going to be lightening up right after that. So let's just get a lay of the land about what's going on right now. We have the Ace of Wands, and that's being clarified by the wheel in reverse. You know what's interesting? The wheel is a Jupiter energy. And Jupiter's retrograde, and then the Wheel of Fortune, because it's a Jupiter energy and it's retrograde, this is very much this energy, right, as the retrograde. So it could feel like you really want to push something forward, but it's like, why isn't it going? And you might even feel like you're having bad luck in the moment. But it does indicate the end of a challenging time period. Now, you're going to experience closure in some way, having to do with something. So some of you might experience this as having a lack of confidence in your own intuition and decision-making skills. You might be like, I don't know, is it the right thing? Is this not the right thing? You know, that kind of thing. So just work to resolve to work really honestly, right? Because Jupiter rules Sagittarius in the 9th house, which is all about honesty, right? So resolve to work very honestly with whatever situation you're dealing with, and just be very persistent in working out or toward whatever goal you're working towards, whatever it is to have this clarifying the beautiful Ace of Wands, which is about this is just a very auspicious energy for all areas of life, right? I mean, this is about new beginnings, new enterprise, creative projects, conception of ideas, as well as family, right? So that would have to do with like virility, being able to grow something, a new chapter of passion, all of that. So very interesting, because it feels like there was some sort of something new coming in, maybe a new idea, something that you guys were discussing. When I say you guys, I know a lot of people don't like when people say that. It's a New York thing. Oh, it's an East Coast thing, I guess. But it does seem like something new was coming in, that maybe you were dealing with another person, you know, because it's will, it's passion, it's motivation to move forward, and often does indicate other people. But then we have the Four of Swords in reverse. Four of Swords in reverse is restlessness. You might be struggling with some anxiety. It's like you feel so ready to act on something, and that's so frustrating when you have the Wheel of Fortune reverse or Jupiter retrograde in that energy, that 7th house of marriage, of serious relationship, of soul contracts, of literal contracts. Like you really want to just push something forward. You want to come on, let's go. Why can't they get the hell out of my way? Why can't that situation just be resolved once and for all? Do you know what I mean? We have the Nine of Pentacles here. So the Nine of Pentacles is about accomplishing something through independent endeavors, right? It really is about working on yourself, working on a project, but it's about reward after an effort that you put in. So the way this can manifest, it could happen financially, obviously, because it's Pentacles. So this could be financial reward for your effort, or this could also be having done some really good work on yourself, and then finally meeting a healthy connection after doing that solid work. But whatever it is, it's like you working on something and then something really good happening out of it. Because remember, the nine is the number of productivity. So it's the integration of your body, mind, and spirit. So what you're actively putting energy into, this indicates there being success in that endeavor. So it's like, you have to do something. There's some sort of shifting of energy, some sort of decisions that need to be made, and some sort of work that needs to be put into a certain area in your life in order to move it forward. Then we have the Seven of Cups in reverse, which is really good, because this is about clarity, and this is about the illusion of something ending, right? And you having this restored sense. It's like, oh, can't believe I was thinking that way. Why was I thinking that way, for so long? Why was I doing that kind of thing? And then we have the Knight of Swords in reverse, which is this is somebody now clarifying this. What are you waking up to? You are waking up to the fact that there is somebody in your energy that is seriously, deliberately cruel. Somebody's a little unhinged, some situation smells funny, there's some sort of toxicity somewhere, and you were like, wow, eyes wide open. There's like no question, you are seeing it actually for what it is. And clarifying that though, clarifying the cruelty, we have the Six of Coins. So I feel like for a lot of you, it has something to do with money. So maybe somebody is very manipulative with money. The Six of Coins has to do with property. It has to do with inheritance, generosity, support, anything having to do with money, right? But this would be like, I have your back, you have mine. But somebody might be very manipulative, very abusive when it comes to this idea, right? And this typically does indicate if you've been struggling, somebody coming in to help you out, maybe somebody from your past coming in to offer it. But it's like if there's help offered, it's almost like there's some sort, almost like a, Leo, I feel like there's almost like a manipulation. I feel like, oh my gosh, my solar plexus is feeling very restricted right now. I almost feel like you're feeling very squeezed. You're feeling, does that make sense? You're feeling very squeezed. You're feeling very pushed. And then to have the Three of Cups in reverse tells me that there's this lack of support. There's this lack of support. There might be a lot of gossip surrounding something. Somebody might be doing some irresponsible partying, irresponsible flirting as well. But this whole middle row tells me that there's some sort of toxic situation being nursed here. But you see it. It's not even like you don't see it at this point. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. This is about family conflict and loneliness too. You could be feeling very lonely in a situation. But there's also some family conflict that's being dealt with right here, right? Then we have the Six of Cups in these reversals. This is about living in the past and being very, maybe even naive or having very unrealistic expectations. So some kind of conflict where there are unrealistic expectations that are being presented here. And then we have the Moon reverse. So you might avoid some sort of difficult emotion or confrontation. But it's like something needs to be expressed, because if it's not, then a certain trauma, a certain issue, something that needs discussion, uncovering, is ignored instead of being discussed and explored and figured out. So what ends up happening here with the Moon reverse energy is you can way too easily go back to an old way of dealing with the past. So if you've been doing some really beautiful, like Nine of Coins energy on yourself, this is the kind of thing where it's like you can easily feel a bit defeated, where you can easily feel disillusioned, disappointed, sad about how something has rolled out and all of that good work. I'm not saying that it's all for nothing, nothing like that. But if, like, let's say your old default was to drink too much or spend a lot of money or exercise some sort of indiscretion, something like that. This is the kind of energy that where you could feel pulled back to wanting to do that as some sort of like coping mechanism just to deal with the situation. Or if your old default was to rip a new one into the person, right? Just give them a real tongue lashing, as we say, where maybe you've been working more on tempering your energy and your anger. Maybe you're having a hard time doing that now because of something here, right? But it does show me you feeling stuck in an old emotional pattern that's going to keep popping up until you give it the attention, that it really needs. And then we have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is the final outcome energy. So Four of Cups, we say this is an interesting energy because there's a lot going on here with this minor arcana. It's the Moon and Cancer energy. So on the one hand, there's this energy of restlessness and boredom and apathy. It's almost like crossing a line at a particular point. It's like you feel like you've been trying, and it's just like, I'm very disillusioned at this point, right? Like, this job isn't what I thought it was. This relationship's not what I thought it was. Will I ever meet the right person? Will I ever be in anything that feels comfortable? Will things just finally go smoothly for me? It's that kind of thing. And you probably have many, many really solid good reasons why you feel like that. That's why we call this the checklist card. I can't be in that thing because of A, B, and C. And because of D, E, and F, I can never go back there, or this will never work, that kind of thing. But the sort of sub-narrative to all of this is this understanding that there's something from your past that needs healing. Not to say that all the things that you're identifying aren't real, but that's not the whole story. That is, I'm not even going to say a symptom. It's like whatever the other issue is amplified because of this unhealed issue from your past. And this is the kind of thing, though, where even small changes can go a really, really long way. You know, some of you might be resonating with this is simply like in your relationship, in your job, whatever it is, you're bored to tears. You might be really bored, or you're very disillusioned. You're like, this is not what I signed up for. Your relationship might just need a little bit of spice. Your job might just need to be approached from a different angle. You know, and whatever that means for you, changing departments, changing the way that you approach work, making a time for date night in your relationship. You know, I don't have to tell you how to add a little juju to your relationship, right? Good juju. But that's going to be how it's going to manifest for some of you. So I definitely feel like there's this sort of disillusionment, disappointment, needing to look at something. Definitely this needs to temper. The only card that I'm really like, here really is the Knight of Swords and the Moon reverse, right? I mean, because this is somebody being cruel. Your eyes are open, but you kind of keeping your mouth shut because you're just like, should I bother? But this is the thing. With Mars in your first house, you're not going to be able to. Like, and I like that because you shouldn't, right? But you just want to make sure that you don't say something that you're going to end up later regretting. You know what I mean, right? I don't have to give you guys that story, but it does seem like that. All right. So let's go on to a Celtic cross spread, see what other messages we can get. So again, this is going to be for general, for relationship, family, money, whatever comes up. And then I'm going to do a relationship spread. I'll pull some cards at the end for those of you in separation. I'll timestamp below like I always do. I should always say that at the beginning, and I always end up saying it like 15 minutes in. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, but now it's like in the upright. You know why? Because you're like, let's go. I'm at a turning point. I am ready to take a chance on something. Let's go. You're ready. But what's challenging you? The Judgment. Pluto. Change. Things are changing for you, and you do know that, right? I mean, you have Pluto right now in Capricorn in your 6th house, which rules your day-to-day habits, how you organize your day-to-day, how your work environment, how you show up. And it's also, besides your pets, it's also your health, mental, physical, emotional. And Pluto's been in there for a hot minute. So some of you may have had some, Pluto rules endings and beginnings, life and death, right? Rules Scorpio. There's a lot of rumination, anxiety, needing to deal with things from the past. So don't be surprised if a lot of you are in this space where maybe you're dealing with some struggle with anxiety, depression, if there were issues. Unfortunately, we see this a lot. When Pluto transits Capricorn, people's pets get sick or pass. If that's your case, I'm so sorry. I have fur babies of myself, and so I understand what that pain is. But that seems to be the challenge, right? This idea of something from the past. And this deal, because the Judgment really is about assessing, right? The Judgment energy is assessment of that relationship, whatever it is that's going on, letting go of the past and making a decision about the past and spiritually waking up and shifting things into a new phase. So for some of you, this is going to mean, the Judgment energy can mean reconciliation if it has to do with relationship. If it's somebody that you're not in contact with right now. If it's somebody that you're still in contact with them, but things are just like messy. This could be reconciling whatever that issue is or issues are that need addressing, where things need to be handled a little bit in a different way. If this has to do with a career or money, this is acknowledgement for success coming in and finances getting better. And I want to tell you that with Mars in a couple of weeks popping into that 2nd house, with Venus, that is a good money-making energy, I have to tell you right now. And also really very good when it comes to like money or anything, particularly if it's anything that had to do with the past. Some of you might be finding that your challenge is in making a decision about a property. That might be holding you back. Like, should we move? Should we not move? Oh, we're definitely going to move, but which place should we get? That kind of thing. That could happen here as well. Sell, don't sell. What's happening with the sale? Maybe it's not working as fast, it's not selling as fast as you'd like, and that's getting in the way of you guys being able to move forward in something. But coming from the past, we have the Chariot, which is just a strong desire to move out away from anything that's toxic, right? You were in a space of feeling very motivated for swift progress and change, and being very determined to get away from something that no longer felt right to you, that no longer felt like your metaphorical home, to go towards something, a place, a situation that felt more like that metaphorical home. So if this has to do with career or money, quick changes in progress and business, maybe something happening there. In the recent past, something very positive having to do with that. If it has to do with relationship, some sort of situation is expedited, right? So this could be, and only you know what the answer is here. If things were bad in your relationship, things came to a roaring head. Maybe you guys separated, a big argument, something happened like that. If things are really good, you guys went into, grew into a deeper level of connection through beautiful communication and just understanding what each other needs. So depending on what your situation is, that's how the Chariot can manifest. So we have the Knight of Pentacles working as the base and the Ace of Pentacles working as the current situation. Right, so the Knight of Pentacles is about increasing prosperity and financial growth and good investment. Any business venture, right? Very nice, right? Really, really good having to do with anything with that. This could also indicate things getting better or going in a northern direction with a partner, which is really, really good. So this could indicate increasing connection coming in. Could mean increase in money that can end up helping your connection, right? But you're going to have to work harder than you are right now in order for it to be stable and secure. So it's almost like, okay, you have to be really smart with what you're doing, very consistent. Know that this isn't like a one and done kind of situation. There's something's going to need a lot of work. That relationship's going to need a lot of work. That business opportunity is going to need a lot. There's going to need to be that new work. How do I want to say it? I guess more work or more pointed work into whatever this is. But when we have it working with the Ace of Pentacles, which straight up, first of all, is a new job. I mean, this is auspicious for happiness and contentment, getting what you want, money coming to you quickly, connection coming to you. But the thing is, you're going to be shown how to achieve what you want. You're going to be shown how to get that foundation of stability, right? Something's just going to happen, and the tide is going to turn. There might be some tension in the process. And I really do believe that it's going to be because Mercury, which is all about, remember, Mercury is all the mind. It's the intellect. It's truth. It's communication. Mercury rules Gemini, which is all about not only communication, but Gemini is also about looking at things from a fresh perspective, right? And it also rules Virgo, that sixth house of problem solving in a very critical way, getting very critical. So Leo, don't be surprised if you find yourself being very sort of pointed in your intentions, very critical of a situation, very fire, very motivated, like, no. I see very clearly now what's going on here. I kind of feel like this is just going to be like an eyes wide open kind of thing. But they could just know that there might be some tension this week, but I can't emphasize enough, I don't want you to worry about it. It's part of the building block of whatever needs to happen here. There has to be some uncomfortable conversation especially if it has to do with marriage, a contract, any sort of soul connection, soul partnership, anything like that. I just feel like that. Now, I just want to throw in like an extra, don't worry about it. This energy is trining your 9th house, which is Chiron. Chiron is retrograde in Aries. So much healing when it comes to your belief system, your higher mindedness, right? It's another long-term goal energy, but it's also about negotiation, right? So whatever you're trying to negotiate in any kind of situation, Chiron has your back. We like trines. And Chiron retrograde is all about, all right, let's take it slow. Let's figure out what we have to do in order to heal this situation. So again, don't worry about the discomfort. It's going to lighten up. So we have the Page of Wands here as the piece of advice, right? The suggested approach. So the Page of Wands is just, first of all, it does indicate good news, as a general influence, focusing on that. But there's going to be a lot of negotiation required here, and I'm not mad at that because we have Chiron retrograde in that 9th house of negotiations for you. So this is going to be a busy time for you at work for many of you. For others of you, this can bring in a new offer. And the thing is here with the Page of Wands, understand that while maybe the status of something or the offer of something, whatever's presented, might not be as high, as much, or in the way that you would ultimately like or expect, it's still going to appeal to you in theory. Just make sure if you're signing any sort of contract or anything like that, just make sure that you read the fine print before agreeing to anything, okay? Read the fine print of whatever it is that you might be signing. Now, the external energy, this is external or others in your life. We have the 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands is like obstacles, but you getting over them. Whatever the challenge is, you're dealing with it, right? But this is, now this has to, I'm sorry, this, I shouldn't be saying you, this is others. This is like kind of like, so this could be the sort of, how do I want to say this? The energy of the environment that you're in. I think that's a good way of putting it, where you might be recognizing your environment sort of, you may feel like it's riddled with obstacles everywhere, right? And if that's your experience, it's okay, right? Success is in reach. You have the resiliency to overcome whatever you need to get over. Just know that your morality and your personal philosophy is going to be very, very important to you, because whether you like it or not, or whether you know it or not, your soul, Chiron retrograde, is very hell-bent on healing something, and it's healing something in that 9th house, which is all about just that, your morality and your personal philosophy. So don't be surprised if you're like drawing a line in the sand, right? Because this is Mars and Leo energy, drawing a line in the sand and saying, okay, look, I can concede to this, this, and this, but I can't to that, that, and that. I just can't. Let's negotiate. And you feeling defensive about your stance, and you know what, Leo? They have to get over it. That's it. They're just going to have to get over it. Because whatever it is that you're coming up with here, you're giving it a lot of thought. But you are giving it a lot of thought. You don't want to approach anything from a closed-minded way. That's not going to serve you, just as a little aside. But I just because we do have that Saturn in the 7th, so you can get a little stuck, but just stay open-minded and firm in your beliefs, and you'll be golden at that point. So let's see what your block is. The Queen of Cups. Oh, the Queen of Cups, Gemini and Cancer energy in astrology, right? So it's this energy of communication. About Cancer is about foundation. So you might be having, first of all, there might be a block when it comes to being able to, Gemini is also signing on the dotted line, wrapping up a business negotiation, anything like that. And because it's with Cancer, the Queen of Cups can indicate like the working out of some sort of real estate transaction, having some sort of conversation about a house, something like that, or just the idea of what's needed to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. That's going to be for many of you. For others of you, the challenge for you is going to be where you might be struggling, you might be dealing with an energy who's struggling with a great way of looking at this is emotional intelligence, right? Where somebody might be afraid of intimacy, might be afraid of becoming a parent, where you guys have been talking about having a child and somebody might be afraid. Somebody might be afraid that you might be afraid that maybe your partner's not able to show up, where your partner doesn't really understand what it takes to make something work, that you're afraid that they're going to end up like not being there for you. Same thing could apply if you're in some sort of work situation, right? Maybe you're in business with somebody and you're like, I just don't feel like they have it in them to go the long haul, right? So it could be that kind of thing that'll end up working for you in the long term, you know? Because, you know, Leo, right now, you're all about making your world a better place for you to live in, you. Not that you're being, I mean, it's not like a malicious, egocentric type of thing, but you're just very ready for the experience of your life to turn the page. You know what I mean? And you're just all about that. In the near future, you're going to be dealing with the Knight of Swords energy. So you have to expect the unexpected. There's going to be some unpredictable things coming up. You know, roller coaster energies, highs and lows, sudden truths popping out, underlying conflicts being exposed. Now, for some of you, this is going to be like, oh, thank God that's on the table. Thank you. Others of you are going to be like, what am I going to do with this now? This new information. Now what? So some of you, you know, depends on what else is going on in your particular situation. But whatever it is, wait for things to settle down before you make a move in any way. Just wait for August. Let's wait until third week even better in August, right? But there's something, you know, happening here. And some of you are going to be dealing with a person who's really determined and driven, very forthright, ready to fight for what they believe in, right? And they could create a lot of drama, but not take any responsibility for reconciliation, for mending things, for making things okay, after having driven, you know, kind of dusting up a lot of drama. Some of you are going to be dealing with that as well, okay? We have the final outcome energy, though, is the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is focusing on responsibilities in a diligent, hardworking way. This is money or connection being on its way as a result of work, of something that you put your energy into. So for some of you, this is going to be this could be getting a job, getting an advancement in your career, furthering your education or your skill set in some way. Like 8 is the number of mastery. So however you would apply that to your particular situation, it's being able to get in front of something. It's being able to master a situation and figure something out. You're not there yet. You're in the process of doing it, but it's almost like the tools are going to be put in your toolbox for you to do it, but you have to use those tools in a very logical and diligent way, with a very logical and diligent approach to whatever situation you're dealing with. Right? So you just want to be careful that you don't like bite your nose off to spite your face and at any turn here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's move on to... Hope that was helpful for those of you looking for some general messages. Let's do a 7-card ellipse for a relationship. I'm going to be doing a deeper love read probably next week for the month of August, because I know a lot of you like when I do the single, the couple, and the complicated with, you know, all of the extended reads. I think I could do that like once a month, because that does end up being quite a long read. So we just try to give a little bit for everybody each week. Ooh. Okay, Leo, we got the 7 of Swords popping right now. What's going on? Are you dealing with somebody who's shady? Are you doing some shady stuff? I don't know. 7 of Swords, this is dishonesty. Doing something immoral, running away from responsibility, running away from what really needs to be addressed or done here in the relationship. This could indicate somebody overstepping boundaries, being selfish, something like that. Now, if you feel like you're dealing with this with somebody else, or they might even be feeling this with you, like somebody's got to play somebody at their own game to find out what they need to know. So you might be in this space, though, where you feel like you're being sent maybe mixed messages, where you feel like there's something more going on with the situation. You really can't quite put your finger on it, but you're coming into this energy. That's exactly what you're trying to do. You're very motivated to find out the truth and the psychological motivation of this person, of, I feel like it's of a particular person or of a situation. This is a very strong and experienced energy, honestly. This is often comes up as a single parent for me, but this is somebody who's very strong in adversity, somebody who's very determined to stand strong, but dealing with some sort of shady situation right now. But in the near future, we have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about moving on, right? And detaching, time apart, at least taking a break from the relationship to allow some space to do some internal work. Yeah, that's in the future. The advice is the Ace of Swords, okay? The Ace of Swords is about getting over past obstacles and getting what you want. And that's going to mean something different for all of you, right? But this is an auspicious energy for new beginnings and clear thinking and making the decision. So if you've been feeling sort of in this, I don't know what I want kind of thing, I feel very I just can't figure it out. And a lot of you might be feeling that. Right now we have Libra sitting in your third house, which is about the mind and thinking. And Libra is the most indecisive energy. So some of you might be feeling very indecisive about, conversations that you're having with people. What does it all mean? There might be this level of indecisiveness that's sort of cloaking the whole thing. But the Ace of Swords is really about getting very clear about what it is that you want, Now we have external other, we have the sun. So again, this could be the energy surrounding you. This is your ruler. The sun is in your first house with Mercury and Mars. This can, I just feeling very strongly that this is just the energy surrounding you. That you're just very much in numerology. This is the Wheel of Fortune card, right? Wheel of Fortune energy. And what is that? Remember, I had mentioned that before, is that's that Jupiter energy. And the Jupiter is in the 7th house. But it's this desire of relationships, but it's about this desire for success and wanting something to go well. You feel it down into your bones. You just want a beautiful connection. You just want a beautiful connection. You want to feel comfortable in your home. You want to feel comfortable in your relationship. You just want to feel comfortable. Now, also, because the sun rules the 5th house is also children. So the idea of children might be sort of like surrounding you. Do you want to have children? Maybe you have children already and you're sort of in this space where it's like, all right, well, the marriage maybe, the relationship maybe isn't going the best, but what about the kids? And you sort of, being in that space as well. Depending on your situation, this is how it can manifest. But we have your block as the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is being able to focus on your mind instead of your heart in a situation. Not always an easy thing. It's not, definitely not an easy energy right now. So I feel like you're feeling very emotional. And I'm not surprised. Everybody always talks about like the water signs as being very emotional. And they most certainly are. But let's not forget, fire is passion. And when we have all of this fire in your first house of self, your passion is going to be like off the chart. You're going to feel very impassioned about something. So it's going to be very hard for you to go from all of that fire to total air. Do you know what I mean? Right? And it's sitting opposite that energy in your 7th house of marriage and partnership in Aquarius, which is air. That's going to be like hard for you to sort of say, no, it's okay. I'm just going to go into the corner and think this one out. It's going to be hard for you. But I do feel like there's going to be some temperance going on, whatever it is. Now, the numerology link to this is the Hierophant, which does represent marriage for those of you who are there. And it's looking at the expectations. It's looking at conforming to something. It's looking at expectations and what's needed for something to work. This is a new level of trust and patient cooperation being had in the relationship after a really difficult time, right? So it'd be a very, very emotionally intense time. Very emotionally intense. Now, I feel like for those of you who are single, I do have to say that you might have been dealing with a shady energy and you're in the space of just trying to get, have a new beginning. Just having a new beginning. But you may still be holding on to something, some sort of residue from somebody from the past that you just can't get off your soul. And you're trying very hard to stay, okay, I'm not allowing my emotions to get the best of me about that person from the past. It didn't work, it didn't work, it didn't work, and that's it. And I'm just going to move forward, right? But the temperance energy can indicate you finding yourself very energetically or spiritually pulled towards somebody. So this being a very emotional time for you, right? So it does depend on what it is that you're dealing with. So we have the Emperor energy being clarified by the King of Pentacles, Two of Swords, okay. Some of you might be dealing with an Aries energy in relationship because we have the Emperor here. So the Emperor is about, really recognizing, first of all, it's leadership, right? It's taking control of the situation. And you being very focused on security and being very determined and taking control, right, of your life, right? So, but it's in doing that being clarified by the King of Pentacles. So what it is, looking at somebody's ability to be generous, to be hardworking, all of that. But this is also recognizing where is somebody being a little greedy. Now, this could have to do with finances, or it could have to do with connection, where maybe the intimacy is not what it should be. Maybe the communication is not what it should be. Somebody is really dug into not changing, not making those adjustments for the sake of the relationship, or it's somebody who's just really kind of funny with money. Right? It could definitely be that. And you recognizing this, and this being this is creating a state of confliction for you, right? Because this is like you're in an emotional stalemate, right? This is a Moon in Libra energy. And when the Moon is in Libra, oh, there's confusion, right? Because the Moon is about, first of all, it's about feeling this, particularly with relationship, it's feeling this element of disappointment and disillusionment. And in Libra, it's the scales. You're really looking at what's fair, what's not fair, but Libra is hands down the sign that struggles the most with analysis paralysis. It's like, if this, then that, but then that, but then this, and I don't know, and being in this emotional stalemate. You can't make up your mind what you want. It's like you might want to protect yourself, but the situation's not going away. Like it might be easier for you to not say anything and just stay in the situation. It's easier to do that. But then you're like, but I know it can't continue like this. So this is really a recommendation here of standing your ground, saying what you think, and making that decision. And then we have the Moon next, which is what I was just mentioning. Yeah, for sure. Confusion, disappointment. You feel like somebody's letting you down. I feel like somebody's just very dug in, Leo. They won't change. They won't change how they handle money. They won't change how they show up in, even though lip service may have been given. Yeah, Leo, I know. I need to maybe be more romantic. Leo, you're a Leo. Romance is very important to you. Hello. Right? You guys are the landlords of the house of fun, creativity, romance. This could be somebody like, yeah, I want to have a baby. I want to be there for the kids more. I want to, be more intimate, share more. Let's do more fun things together. Blah, 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 blah. Saying that, but then they don't show up. And you're like, awesome. Now what do I do? I've given them 13 million chances here. Disappointed. Knight of Swords, clarifying that. Yeah, expect the unexpected. Stuff popping out that maybe you weren't expecting. For, again, depending on where you're at, for some of you, this can be relief, where you're like, okay, good. Cat's out of the bag, whatever, everything's out on the table. Sometimes it's just so much better. For some of you, what comes out can end up inciting more confusion for you, because you're like, great, now I realize in order to be in this situation, I either have to accept what's being presented or I have to leave, because you're going to be in the space of recognizing you can't stay in it as it is. So it depends on what your situation is, but I definitely think you should wait until more like the middle to the third week of August to make a final decision. But it does seem like you're dealing with somebody that creates a lot of drama and really doesn't want to take a lot of responsibility, right, for what exactly is going on. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. I mean, this could be a testing of your resources, some sort of fearing of financial issues. But you have to consider a new option or see your way forward in a different way, figuring something else out. Because what's going on right now, it's not going to be what's going to make your heart happy. A lot of you might be struggling with the aftermath of a breakup as well. Yeah, look, we have the Ten of Cups being clarified by the Two of Wands, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Because Ten of Cups is about family contentment, being in a secure situation with your partner. It's about partnership. Whatever you guys are working on within the relationship, whatever it is. Having a family, getting engaged, getting married, moving in together, buying a new home, whatever it is, that finally coming together, right? In a good way. But what's clarifying it? The Two of Wands, Mars and Aries. This is making plans and moving forward. But there are two aspects to the situation, and you have to figure out what's best for you. Because you're going to be very focused on happiness right now. So how can this show up for, again, depends on, this is a general message, so it depends on what your situation is. For some of you, you're going to be recognizing with your partner, if this is going to work, this is Mars and Aries energy. We have to take a fresh path, new perspective. That's it, right? There has to be a new beginning. For a lot of you, it's going to require, counseling, deeper counseling if you guys are already going, but having this very strong resolve to doing something differently. Others of you, with this Five of Pentacles, this Knight of Swords, expect the unexpected, feeling this sense of lack. Some of you are going to be like, look, I'm recognizing that in order for me to be happy, I have to go down a different path. Some of you may even be meeting somebody new. Or there might be somebody new in your energy through some sort of I feel like third situation, right? Other situations. It could be through work, through friends, through some sort of situation that you were involved in. Maybe you met somebody. We have the Tower, clarifying that. Hold on. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. All right. Very interesting. Wow, Leo, I mean, I see you ending something. And then it's clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, which tells me something is ending. But there's this other energy that's right there. And this energy might be very loyal and dependable. And you find a lot of value in them. They might have a lot to offer. But it's like something's missing. And that one thing is getting in the way of you feeling like there could be long-term happiness with this energy in a truly satisfying way. But there's a decision being made here with the Two of Wands and the Tower. There's this necessary surrender and letting go of a past pattern of relating with somebody. The Tower is a major arcana, right? And it's Mars. And Mars is all about, look, that thing that was going on in the relationship that way, that wasn't meant for you. That's got to come down. That's not healthy for you. Let's go in this direction. So we have this Knight of Pentacles energy. And then we have the Hierophant. Okay, look, I mean, this is very make or break energy. There's no question in relationships. So either you are full-blown going to be accepting that the partner that you're going to be staying with has elements missing. And this is the thing. I want to clarify something here. This isn't the kind of thing where you're not recognizing. All right, I want to be very clear in how I'm expressing what it is I want to say. Everyone knows nothing's perfect. We all know that, right? But we all have our things that are very necessary, right? For example, right? Let's just say Leo, right? Let's take your archetype, for example. If you don't resonate with this, I don't know what else is transiting your energy. But for the Leo archetype, loyalty is a big thing, okay? Being friends with your partner is super important. I mean, that's a deal breaker energy. If you're with somebody who's not your friend to go the long haul, that's gonna end up being a problem for you. And what does that mean? Somebody that you can sort of as a partner in crime, even if it just means gardening and going to restaurants. But do you know what I mean? Somebody who is your partner in crime. Because something that is so undeniably beautiful about the Leo energy is that you guys are you have this amazing ability, and I talk about this a lot, and I give this example where the Leo energy can be at the bedside, your bedside, when you guys are like 95, old and wrinkly, and like the Leo energy is still stroking that person's hair, saying, aren't they beautiful? Isn't he handsome? Isn't she? Even though, right, you're old and all of it. It's like this ability to see past all the other stuff. Now, Leo is a fire energy, so of course attraction is important and all of that, but it's so not everything. More than that, Leos really need to be solid friends with their partners, right? That's kind of like a deal-breaking energy. It's because it's going to be very hard to feel that connection. So it's that kind of thing, right? If they're a little messier or a little too neat for you, whatever, that's something, look, everybody has little stuff like that. But when we're talking about the Knight of Pentacle energy, this could be that this person just has that thing missing where you don't feel like you have as much in common or something like that, where you feel like that thing that they lack may get in the way of capturing your heart for the long term in a truly satisfying way. So some of you are going to be in this space where it's like, all right, I'm just going to, I'm going to stick with my commitment. They're lacking that thing, but I'm going to stick with it. Others of you are going to be like, nope, I can't do it. I can't do it. You can't, where you end up going with another energy. Yeah. Do you have to move on? 10 of Wands is overwhelmed, feeling very burdened, overload with the demands, right? Overloaded demands. For a lot of you, though, I want you to just know this could end up being nothing more than your relationship being neglected right now because of other things going on in your life. And the sense of lack that you're feeling may be because of that. It may be, we get the Five of Pentacles energy, maybe there was the passing away of somebody in your life, and there was just so much focus on taking care of that, taking care of things. Maybe somebody lost their job, maybe something happened where there's less focus on the core of the relationship in a way, and that needs to be redressed, and you guys need to find each other again. For others of you, this could definitely indicate this need to end the relationship once and for all. But regardless of how you're resonating with it, I could tell you that the weather, relationship weather forecast for the Leo archetype is certainly that change is necessary. You can't keep going the way that you're going in whatever it is that you're doing. So you're either going to fix it or you need to release it. And I know, people don't want to hear that. I'm sorry about that, but although that might be relief for a lot of you to hear that, validating if you're in a weird space. Let's pull a couple of cards for those of you who are in separation from an energy. I'm feeling this very precipice kind of energy having to do with relationships with Leos. Very precipice. This is it. It's like, this is it. If this isn't going to work, I have to go down this path. That's it, kind of thing. Our love was too intense for me to handle. I needed to break away, is being clarified by unconditionally loving, giving, and receiving affection, falling in love. And then we have, I have to be in contact with you again. I miss you too much, being clarified by abundance. Keep a positive mindset. Manifest exactly what it is that you want. Somebody's trying to manifest something with you. I wonder if you still think about me. How do you feel about me now that you've had time to reflect? And then we have that clarified by not today, not dealing, hurt, avoiding conversation, boundaries, still angry. I've committed to someone else because they don't challenge me, being clarified by self-indulgence, focusing on self, self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. So this could be you towards somebody else, them towards you. Quite frankly, it could be the two of you to each other. So it does seem like there's the separation, not dealing with things, focusing on self, but there being this love that's still there. Trying to keep a positive mindset, trying to manifest something, but it seems like something is not meant to come together right now. But it does seem like there's some sort of like unconditional love and this desire to manifest. But I just hope it's not too late, meaning, all right, I'm going extended on you guys because it's like this is you're one of the stars of the week here with the Mercury and your energy, but even if I didn't plan on that, I feel like I would have ended up doing that anyway. Let's see what we have. The Four of Cups. Okay, the need to balance something out. Oh my gosh, we got the Sun. We have the Seven of Pentacles. There's still a lot of ego that's sort of pent up here. I do feel like, look, I mean, with the Four of Cups energy is a checklist. I can't be in that relationship. Absolutely not. They do that, and they do that, and. But, you know, what's really necessary here is for everybody, really honestly, to look at their role in this situation as well. Not to finger point, but just to understand. What is the underlying narrative behind? If there was dishonesty, why was there dishonesty? If there was, you know, whatever it was, if there was betrayal, what was underneath that? What was driving all of these things? And the Strength energy does indicate that, you know, if your relationship's being tested, things being able to get better, but there's this need for balance. There's definitely this need for balance. And then we have the Sun, which is about growing a beautiful connection. I mean, you don't get better than the Sun. You really don't. So there definitely is. I mean, that's your ruler. It's definitely like, you know, there's still a lot of romantic energy here. There's no question. But with the Seven of Pentacles, Mars and Leo energy, it's in your house of self right now, right? You're drawing a line in the sand. And there might be obstacles going on here, but you're going to have the energy to overcome whatever challenge it is that you're dealing with in a successful way. But your morality and your personal philosophy are meaning a lot to you. And so is theirs, though. So there's got to be this sort of balancing out of this energy, right? Balancing out. And only if that's possible is this going to be, I wish I had a more definitive energy, guys. It's only 1 week, but it does seem like that's the space. But I just hope that if you guys are in a space where you want to reconcile, that there's not too much delay. To be honest with you, this is, even though I'm saying that Mercury and Leo with Mars might be confrontational when it comes to relationship, it's necessary. It is. So might be uncomfortable, but if you've been putting off having that conversation, that, all right, once and for all, what is it going to be kind of thing, I'm not mad at this energy to do that. I feel like, look, what better energy to do it than when Mars is in our own sign, for goodness sake, right? And with Mercury, right? These two together, it's like, all right, let's just have this conversation already. Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you. Have a very blessed week. I will see you guys next time. You guys take care. Bye-bye.